9 to 5 doesn't mean much to a great attorney. Great attorneys understand what makes time precious is what we can do with it.
Just like anything that's important in life, when people say, oh, I can't exercise because I don't have time. Well, you can if you really want to. And you just make that a priority, and then you find the time, and it should be a priority.
There are people who need help, there are people who can give help, and people who frankly have the time.
The I'll Do One campaign. One client. One attorney.
You know, there is an aspect of idealism to this profession for me. I mean, there just is. And I believe in our system of justice. I believe in, you know, the sort of the vision of the founders of our country, you know, where they put justice like in the first line of the Constitution. And I believe in this whole concept of justice for all. I mean, I just do.
We need to make sure that people who can't afford to go to court or get legal work done still can get it done, because we all need to make sure that the system works for everybody. And the more people are shut out, the less that happens.
I think that we're all better people if we can be empathetic for people who are in different circumstances as we are. I think it shows the justice system in a different light. And as attorneys, we all have the duty when we're sworn in to uphold the justice system.
I think it's a fundamental part of what we should do as lawyers, is to help people who otherwise might not be able to get that kind of help.
We are very privileged in the legal profession with what we're allowed to do, and I guess the old saying is, to whom much is given, much is expected of that person, and I think we owe a duty to make the system open to all. This can't be a club for those who can afford to pay for an attorney.
Knowing that I didn't have the money, I'm working a full-time job, and having to think about paying for everything attorney's fees, costs, and just more or less fighting for my daughter. I didn't know how I was going to do it.
To me, it just comes down to fairness. You know, her significant other had, or her former significant other, had a very prominent attorney behind him. He had funds with which to fight this battle, to take depositions and do everything that you would do in litigation, and she had nothing, and she had no one. That's just not fair.
We do a lot of things we have no idea how to do as lawyers. All kinds of things, especially if they're well-paying. So we can figure out how a heart valve regurgitation works. We can figure out how to help somebody with a divorce.
There's more to practice than collecting a fee. One of the benefits that comes out of this is it exposes you, if this isn't your area of practice, to people that you wouldn't meet, to problems that you wouldn't meet, to an understanding of the system. I would say it enhances the reputation of our profession.
Attorneys shouldn't be any more uncomfortable about taking a pro bono case than any other case that they might encounter in their practice. It might be a little bit unfamiliar, it might be a little bit difficult at first, but we're used to taking different types of cases. We're used to doing that legal research. That's what makes it fun to be an attorney, is that we're not stuck in one little mold. We can do all kinds of different things with our legal knowledge. And so I think that it really helps to broaden attorneys' perspective and their areas of practice if they take pro bono cases that they might not normally see come through their office.
As a lawyer, you're constantly learning. So a pro bono case is another chance to expand your practice and expand your knowledge as an attorney. And so I think it was great. Now I can look at a landlord-tenant dispute or look at an eviction and have some sort of idea what's going on just from this one case that I decided to take.
Particularly for lawyers who have just been admitted, it's, I think, a great help to them to do that, because they learn the ropes, they learn the procedures in court. If it's unusual for a young attorney to get right into court, unless they do this type of pro bono work, and then they learn it in spades right away.
You know, I think it's been really beneficial for me. It has helped me with client counseling. It's the opportunity to form a relationship with a client that I see face to face, which I don't often meet my client face to face on a regular basis the way I do working on this pro bono case.
I think it makes a lawyer a better lawyer because it helps us learn to engage with our client, engage with a different group of the population, gain some empathy and perspective for people who are in a different position than we are, but yet are still looking to get what we were all guaranteed under the Constitution, which is, an element of justice in their own personal lives.
You can build these relationships with these they become your mentors. I mean, I don't know how to do this when I'm getting this criminal case, and I call this criminal lawyer, and he says, well, no, you do not do that. Here's what you do. And over the time, you learn how to get things into evidence. For me, it was the best CLE that could have ever happened. I learned better from being placed in a situation of responsibility where somebody's really counting on you to get it right than I do about reading it in textbooks. And then you get these stories that, you've represented somebody, you've done these, and there's this whole group of people that are doing the same things, and you build this camaraderie. We've been in the trenches together, and so that helped. That certainly helped my progression as a trial attorney. There's just no question about that.
Thanks to the Center for Legal Aid in Wyoming, they do provide a lot of support. They provide forums, they provide mentoring. There's not really a good excuse to say, I just don't know how to do this.
It doesn't take much to just do one. If each lawyer can just take one, the unmet legal need will nearly vanish.
If attorneys are afraid of volunteering to help do pro bono work and then never getting out alive, that's not the case. You can just do one, and if everybody did one, it would be amazing.
And if you just do one and everybody just does one, that's a lot of cases in any district, I think.
I've never heard of anybody taking one case that has suddenly mushroomed into some expert-driven, fact-intense, 2-week federal court trial.
Just take one. Just do one.
The I'll Do One campaign. One client. One attorney.